welcome. Aiden, welcome to ROOG's writing camp B.
What a wonderful palace you have.
Mister, thank you so much for doing this.
Pleasure.
Let me start off the writing camp with the ritual. Got a shirt for you.
Look at that, man.
With your name on it.
Wow, look.
Can you tell us a little bit when you started production? But I mean, your parents, you know, thought you were born to do this, but I mean,
of course it was written in the stars.
Yes, it was written in the stars, but how did you set up?
Okay, well, I mean, production is different to DJing, but you know, I mean, I only started making music to get more DJ gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I was always a DJ first.
Oh, really? Yeah.
From 13 years old. Okay. And the production was more of a means to manifest my passion in DJing, which came around the year of 1998. That was my first release.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on a record label called BBE, and they do a lot of compilations.
Legendary label, dude.
I mean,
to have your first record on that.
Yeah,
on that?
I've got a lot of love for Pete of BBE and the whole BBE gang. I mean, there was no gang at that time. It was just Pete and Ben at BBE, and they hadn't done compilations then. They were just a young label.
Yeah.
And I was working in Uptown Records in Soho.
Really?
And I gave them this DAT of my first production. My production was...
Can you tell them what the DAT is, please?
Digital audio tape.
This is successful.
That's scientific for you guys.
Cassettes?
Well, yeah, I mean, you keep yours, right? I guess you do.
Dude, I have like stacks, and you have to remember that recorder back in the day, because we used to master our tracks on that recorder, and it was insanely expensive, like crazy expensive. I remember like in maybe 3,000 euros, you know. When
well, and even to have a DAT recorder in your studio was, you know, a lot of money.
A lot of money
to take it to.
But they told me, yeah, but you need it because your tapes will last forever. So I still have my DAT recorder, and I was trying to play some tapes like a few backs, and let me say it doesn't work, and it just totally.
No, you're joking me.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Because I kept my DAT recorder for that specific purpose. Dude. But I would never have anything to play them on, and I kept it. Yes, even if it's just holding a pot of plants, I kept it.
Same here, but I mean, there's something with the magnetic field, or you cannot. Yes, so it lasts like maybe 10 years, but I mean, obviously we recorded this in the 90s, so it's done. Sad note. Okay,
right, okay, I'm going to go and record my.
So your first record, 99.
98, 99.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, my first studio was just an Akai MPC 2000.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to other people's.
Oh, you started on MPC, yeah. No,
yeah,
Akai.
I didn't. Well, I didn't really get to. I was too. I've always been too impatient with doing the stuff myself, twiddling knobs and learning stuff. I've learned Logic, but. Generally, I got bored with the MPC pretty quickly, and then went to another studio and got my ideas onto tape at the time. Really? Around 98, but it wasn't. I didn't have a studio as such. After that, I got a Macintosh, which was when eMagic were. Oh no, I had an Akai. Not an Akai. Atari ST1040.
Yes, I had that. In the Mega one, or what is it called?
But I mean, you know, in and out of my life, One Fat Diva was made using an Atari ST1040, playing the Fatboy Slim loop over and over again, and then playing the Diva a cappella off the record straight onto that machine in time, and I'm there, just, you know, touching the vinyl.
That's insane.
And then that was it, and we went to spend thousands of pounds in a big studio in London to master the record, but it didn't sound the same. So we used the original in the end.
Really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So what was the record that really, you know, took your career to another level?
In and Out of My Life was a big one, of course, in terms of hit, but Bad Habit, of course. You know, I can't.
Which year was this?
I think it was 2000, maybe. Yeah, was in 2001 at a stretch, 99.
Yes.
Of course, it lasts from inception to actually
No,
becoming a release.
the funny thing is, I was there at the moment because there was Simon Darmore. He was there, but I didn't know you at the time. And we were, I don't know which club it was, but Lil Louis was playing.
Yes, you're gonna.
And this is one of the most legendary moments ever.
I told my son about this moment. I was in the car. Only last week, I relived the moment for him because
It doesn't. Does that ring a bell? No.
Well, I said to him, "You've got to understand that I was in this nightclub.
Yeah.
We were on Miami Beach somewhere.
Yeah.
And there was Louis Vega,
Yeah.
Tony Humphries, Ted Patterson,
everyone.
and
Everyone was in there.
but the DJs were Tony Humphries,
Yeah.
Louis Vega. Anyway,
Louis was playing.
Louis was playing, but they played it 4 times. And I said, you've got to understand, after the 3rd time I thought, well, this is a bit crazy because I can hear my beats coming in again.
Yeah.
And then Louis picked it up, put the record needle back to the beginning
Yeah,
of
but
the
the whole
record.
thing was like, I never ever heard that before, or ever since, that you had like a rewind of a track.
I know, and I had to go onto Miami Beach and cry.
He was crying in the club. I saw that. It was so.
I got on my phone to my wife and said,
Yeah.
I can't stay here anymore. This is it. I cannot stay in the club because I'm going to burst
yeah.
from just the excitement and
Yeah.
you know. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
it
was like a
incredible.
legend, and I mean, so well deserved because that record is insane. I still play it,
And,
so
well,
that's
you know,
a fucking
it's
classic.
it's
I mean, you can die after that if you have a record like that. It's like, you
It
know.
was made in 2 weeks and 2 bottles of Chardonnay in one night, and that was. It was.
Yeah, but those are the best, right? Oh! I cannot express in words how happy I am that we're finally doing a collab, man.
Oh no, that's fantastic. I mean, you know, same here.
Dude, because you, for me, like, there's a couple of dudes that, you know, I play their tracks like you said, from Bad Habits, from In and Out of My Life in the 2000, 99, whatever. So, throughout my whole career, I've been playing your tracks.
Likewise.
So, for me, I'm just so happy that we finally doing a track together. So, you sent me this idea.
Yeah, and you know, it came across as just a conversation on social media, and then we said, hey, well, why not
It's
just
time,
do a track?
yes.
I've done some ideas, and let's just swap ideas and let's
Yes.
see if something hits. And
But
yeah,
how do you normally work? Because you work alone.
yeah, I'm just me
Me,
on
myself,
my
and I.
own in the studio. My work has changed over the past year or so because I've changed studio, and I
Are
used
you
to
at your house or are you
I used to be at my house, but
Yeah.
now I'm in a separate studio, which is kind of
going to work?
it's not working because I find I'm still stuck in my house on my laptop. It's for me. It's becoming more about the initial ideas
Yes.
and formulating those, as opposed to sat there in front of a really nice studio
I know.
setup. And
I know.
and I'm more about, you know, walking the dogs, coming back, making a coffee, doing some work, emails, coming back, working on some ideas on Logic.
So you're telling me that you always start with like a musical idea, or you just make beats? Or
Not at the moment. It's normally a vocal idea. If something doesn't have a vocal element,
yeah.
then I
I
can make
get
tracks all day long, as can you. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we can make these dubby tracks all day long, and I have hundreds of them. But
Yeah.
for me, it doesn't interest me in terms of, and the labels I'm working with aren't really interested in those at the moment. You know, I was only yesterday on the plane listening through to some of my promos and thinking, how do these guys get noticed? If you're making just instrumental tracks after track after track,
But I think
there's nothing to get your claws into. You know?
Yes, but I mean, I think that defines house music, because it needs that musical element. It doesn't have to be like a full vocal, but it has to be a really cool bass line or a piano or something musical, right?
Well,
compared to the house, the tech house, techno guys, because it's so sparse.
Because I think they work at it from another angle. They work at it from the beats element. They work from the beats up,
it's only
and then
beats.
and then the vocal element maybe comes in and sprinkles on the top. For
Yes.
me, I'm like actually, you know, in answer to your question,
Yeah.
for me it's vocal first, vocal hook first, or
Musical idea.
a musical idea, and then build everything around that.
Cool.
Um,
But you play yourself, or you just it's sample based? What are you?
Very much sample based. I mean, I did grade 5, took piano. I mean, I've got a musical ear,
Yeah.
but I'm as I get older,
Yeah.
becoming much more of a kleptomaniac. You know, I really will, and watch out, other producers.
Yeah.
I really will sample your beats, and I really will, you know, of course, clear them in the end. But you know, I'm becoming less bothered about finding the perfect kick drum and
Yeah.
then matching it with the perfect hi-hat
Yeah.
and matching it with the perfect pad and this.
Yeah, but the sound at the moment is not about that. Because when I listen to the tracks that are hot right now in house music, it's all organic, old school sounding tracks. It doesn't have to sound perfect.
No, and if
the
anything,
moment.
it's about making them sound less perfect.
No, yeah, it has to sound old.
Because I get demos all the time, and I'm thinking this stuff is too clean. This stuff is too.
I know.
It's too syncopated. It's too thought about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now, as I'm progressing in my production career, trying to unlearn the stuff that I learned before and take away the intricate little drum fills and take away the intricacy, but actually focus on the core idea.
Yeah.
If the core idea works, then you can pretty much, as long as you get it, you know,
True.
you can pretty much do whatever you want.
And I really like that vocal idea that you sent me, and there was a piano, and I was like, I like this, and basically what you sent me was a track, and then I was like, but this is an ATFC track.
Yeah.
So we have to.
It has to be a combination. It has to
So
be a
and
collaboration.
especially the last 3 years, 3 years, I'm really, like you said, going back to that 90s gritty sound, and I just. That
And I love what you
touches
did
me.
with it. When you send it back, I thought, okay, this makes sense now, because you know this stuff has been sat on my hard drive for maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
I believe that.
But this is the whole point of me getting someone like you or you involved.
Yeah.
Because it can sit there and it just
I have
there's
the same
something
thing.
nagging about it that's not right.
I know, but I have the same thing, and that's why I of course I always sit alone in that studio just putting down ideas, but in the end I just love to vibe with someone, you know. It's just music is vibing with, interacting with people, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit strange to, because way back I was playing in bands and music just got better when you just it elevated because of the interaction with people, right?
And it goes back to I watched the Quincy Jones documentary
Let
recently.
God wander into the room.
And you have to get people involved. You
Yes.
have to have this interaction.
Yeah.
You can lock yourself away in a
Yeah.
studio and think
Yeah.
that you're doing fantastic
Yeah.
work. Sometimes you do, of course.
Yes.
But generally, it's about you know. And when you live,
Yeah, but I love when Quincy says, you know, you need to leave room for, he calls it God to wander into the room. But that's the magic, the
Yeah.
moment of magic that you cannot plan, and that will happen when two people or more people just are working together, and you get that.
yeah,
it elevates.
absolutely.
Shall we listen to the track?
Let's have a listen.
So first he came up with this vocal which I really liked. Just a vocal club. And we love our vocal, diva vocals. And then we, let me see what we have left.
It's got such a great classic feel to that. You know, with the snare roll.
I know. Oh, that bass is loud on these speakers. I mean, there's only a few elements. We have the beats. I mean,
But this is the key. If you got the like 2 or 3 elements right.
Yeah, correct. Let me
In
see
the
where
track.
the kick is. I cannot find the kick. Where is it? His head. It's gone. That is strange.
Do you hide it, maybe?
Oh, hey. Thank you. When I was playing it, I was like, the beat is not there yet. I'm because you know what I did? I mixed it with Bad Habit. No, because you know, what I do, I take the track and then I just go into my DJ set and just play it in between other records because it has to hold up. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So and I was like, I'm looking for the classic feel, and then that conga pattern came in of Bad Habit. I was like, shit, it needs something like that, but I haven't found it yet. I think I don't know if I still have the. I have it in here.
Okay, so you want to go more because that essentially, okay, that takes it away from the MK sort of early 90s feel, more to a funky house.
Yes, 2000
the moment you
feel.
bring in, and I'm not adverse to that.
Yeah.
But it's the moment you start bringing in bongos and stuff.
And bongos.
Or whatever.
We need more cowbell, man.
Yeah. But that's cool. No, that's cool. I like that.
I don't know if it has to be this
I
one.
can clear that.
You think so? So let's talk to that motherfucker who did it. I heard he's a not so nice guy.
No.
But it gives it a different flavor.
Have you
It's
seen it?
the whole, put the whole beat in.
But that's a lovely little touch as well. It's a lovely little.
Yeah, that was because I was trying to do something classic, you know, and then I was like, what is one of those classic tracks? I'm like, hey, hello, how funny is it that we put like that
well,
loop
let's
in
do
there?
it.
You know what I mean?
I think we should do it. I think we should do it.
But I still have to work because it's not like really tight at the moment. But it takes it into another vibe. But
do you agree about the because when you sent it to me first, it had the opposite arrangement for the piano.
True.
Do you think it's
I think
the way to go? Putting it in the breakdown. And a siren always works.
the only thing that when I played it out, I was like, there's something in the piano that it sounds a bit boxy. I don't know. Is it a sample or did you? It would be maybe.
I can't even remember. It might have originated through something like a sample pack, but I might have replayed it in, but I doubt it.
There's some because I was trying because it sounded really thin, so I added some, you know, with the EQ I put a little extra bottom on it to give it a little bit more warmth, but it's a bit thin, you know. So that's the only thing that I was like, I love everything, but maybe we have to replay the piano with a bit warmer sound. I don't know.
That won't be difficult, of course. But I'm wondering how many times it's come back and forwards and we bounced. So where this came?
It's yours. I didn't do anything. I just EQ'd it a bit. That's your piano.
Right. So I can then go. Back
I don't
to
have the
source.
MIDI of it or so.
Okay.
It doesn't. I didn't find an original thing, so I was like, probably it's a sample that you.
I even have it here on my laptop, if we have time. But I can absolutely re-EQ that or look at the original source material. Because it's very, very top, isn't it?
Yeah.
We need to get some more mid into there.
Yes, if we have the MIDI, maybe we can put an extra piano in for the.
I'm pretty sure it came from a sample pack, but I need to check.
That's the only thing that's still a bit bothering. I like all the elements, but that's the one is like, because it's so piano based, so the piano has to be warm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we miss when you? I've not played it out yet, but if you when you play it, it's just like sizzling on the top end.
Yeah,
You
yeah, a
don't
bit
get
too
that
much.
Kind of in a club, you need to have that.
Yeah, true, totally. And I was trying to EQ it, but it didn't work. So it's like maybe we have to have that.
I
replayed.
think I might have EQ'd that from original stems. I think I have done, and it's cut out a lot of the bottom end.
I think that's the problem, because I was trying to put it in again, but I mean, if it's gone, it's like difficult to bring it back in.
I've got it here, but it's up to, or I can
Good
send
stuff.
it to you.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Is there a secret sauce?
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a secret ATFC master preset on the Isotope 8. The mastering.
And you use it all the time.
It's on everything. When I load the track, it's on there, and I've gone back and forth with different mastering engineers, and who, when I send them my record, they say, "How did you get that sound, Aiden? I mean, we've never heard anything like. I mean, it's incredible." And I've said, "Well, I just put this mastering, like this Isotope thing," and they said, "Okay, well, one guy, Kevin at Wired Masters in London, he's a bit of a guru,
Yeah.
He gave me a lot of confidence, because he called me and said, I don't know, I've not heard any, you've sent this to us. I think it was one of my defected records. And he said, I can't do anything with this record. I can't do anything. And how do you get this sound coming into the studio? I said, well, it's this thing, Isotope Ozone, that I use, and I use this preset, and maybe... Anyway, he took it away, and he jigged about with it, because there was some dangerous stuff in there. I don't know the technical side of it, but he then sent it back. So I have this
Wow.
modified ATFC preset of the Isotope. That's something I put on the end of the mix. I like to use different things. True Pianos is my plugin of choice for pianos. I use Stylus Remix for getting ideas down on everything. It's the first thing I will load up in terms of getting sample packs and stuff like that.
Because you can play it on the keyboard, that's why you put it in the sampler?
No, I just literally it's in. I mean, I'm using Loop Cloud as well now. Loop Masters Loop Cloud, which basically is the same thing but from the cloud.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that's very helpful, just as for ease and speed of working.
Yeah.
If I want a shaker loop, I'll put in shaker into Loop Cloud and then just scroll through.
Yeah.
And then from that you can download the high quality file or download the MIDI, and then you can jiggle about with it as much as you like. I mean, the thing is, now we've all got so many sample packs and so many sounds at our disposal. It's still, for me, I don't use so much EQ. I don't use so many things to modify the sounds that I choose. I just spend a lot of time choosing them.
I know. I think that is the key to everything, is finding the right sounds for your the building of your house.
Yeah. And some people spend their time going like this. I spend my time going like this. And it can take hours sometimes. And it can be, I've got it, and then you go back and no, I haven't got it, I'll do it again. And that's where I spend my time, is scrolling. And then my ear will suddenly hear something. Yeah. As opposed to making something that's not right into something that might be right given a few hours. I'd rather just keep going, because we all have the sounds at our disposal.
Sure.
And the same with anything. I mean, you sent me this bass, right?
Yeah, correct.
But if it was a bass line that I wrote,
it wasn't it wasn't a bass line.
They're not even a bass line. Yeah. I will literally just hit preset, and when something hits, I'll be like, you know what, that's fine.
It's fine. Because a lot of the guys, they ask me like, how do you make that kick and that bass stand out? I think that is the most difficult thing of doing house music. Finding the right kick and the bass to harmonize together.
Yeah, and there's so many ways I've heard of getting that right, but it's all kind of, for me, it just comes down to my ears.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. It can be on a laptop, it can be on headphones, it can be on studio monitors.
But like mixing wise, when you have your kick and when you have your sub, I mean, most people obviously they let the bass sidechain. Is there something else that you maybe do to? I always
have the same kick that I use on the track duplicated as a sidechain.
Of course,
and there's other people that use different methods, whether it's LFO2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I use that kick all the way.
Yeah, I'm also old school. I have a sidechain track because I think that it sounds different than when you use a plugin to do it. But maybe,
I'm of the school where actually, if you don't use the same kick, if you don't use the same plugins on that kick to create that same pump, then it's not going to sound the same. You have to use the same kick. That's the point, isn't it?
Well, that's my point exactly. But other guys, they have other theories about it. I'm doing this, but maybe because we're old school. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem to take a lot of time. I mean, it's not like they're saving a great deal of time using a plugin, but I will then use the glue, Cytomic the glue, on most things.
Also on the kick, you use compression on the kick?
But I will sidechain stuff. If I'm going to sidechain a shaker loop or any music, I would generally go for Cytomic the glue.
But you put it on all the separate tracks, or you put it on like
sometimes not. Depends. It depends on
mood.
Send your
drums to like the bus and then compress it, or
at the moment, at the moment I'm sending my drums to a drum stack, and then I will compress the drum stack
without the kick.
Without the kick.
Yeah.
Sometimes with the kick. I mean, this is the thing. I suppose sometimes I remember, sometimes I forget, and sometimes I do it. Generally, I would do it without the kick, but I've gone back and remembered stuff and tried to re-put stuff in stacks, and it's been including the kick, and I've gone, oh my god, this sounds different now. Yeah. And it's all about that for me. You know?
Yes. Sure.
I've realised mistakes in my records and tried to correct them.
Yeah. And it don't sound right.
And it doesn't sound right. So you know what? The mistake is
meant to be.
Stay.
Yeah, true. Good stuff. So, because I always work with I have this crazy mastering chain, you know.
Whoa.
I always work with like a lot of. I always start work from there because I don't want to mix afterwards. I do it like.
So you put stuff into that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why that sound is like. And.
So you're like ATFC on steroids.
I mean, this happened through the years, you know. Working with Dennis and I, we just go back and forth. But
you've got a great sound. I mean.
No, well, I mean, we don't master actually anymore. It's just we make the track and then we don't even mix. You know, we just do it along the way and that's it.
And this is the thing: as long as you know your room, as long as you know.
It's
your
all
speakers,
about my room. My room is.
You can have the shittiest speakers in the world. You can have the shittiest room. You can be in a bedroom. You can be on a boat. You can be in a caravan. But if your ears get used to that sound, you can make music anywhere. I'm a true believer of that.
I think that is true. But I'm very happy that I have a
That's true.
I have a nice room with a sub speaker. Because I was talking to Marco Lees, and he was telling me he only has NS10s, and I have NS10s, but they're like my
side speakers.
Yes, I'm like when it has to sound shitty, you know. When I go
Did
to
he get
NS10s.
upset when you said that?
No, because he has to laugh because his records sound huge. I love his sound. His sound is amazing, and he's like, I just get used to working on the NS10. There's no sub speaker, there's nothing else, only NS10s.
And you know what? I have NS10s and Behringer 3 something or other.
Yeah.
Behringers. But they're really good. For the price. And now I'm going to invest. I was going to invest in some better quality speakers, maybe some Opal. David Penn has the Opal.
I have Genelec. I love Genelec.
And even vocal, I'm thinking of maybe spending some more money. But then I think, you know what?
But the
Is it
Genelecs
just
are
for
not
my
that.
mind, not for my ear? You know,
No,
I'm
but I
working
mean,
like
no,
that.
listen. But when you have Genelecs, it sounds relaxing to the ear, so you can work the whole day. Your ears don't get tired. When you have the NS10s on, it's like after 10 minutes you're like, ugh, you know. So when I have the Genelecs on, it's just soothing to your ears. You know, it's nice. You don't have to put them loud. You just.
Which Genelecs is it?
I don't know, I have them for years. It's like an old.
I think maybe the same
model.
as Harry Romero has. Harry Romero has.
I love the Genelecs, man. For me, that's. I mean, I listen to a lot of speakers, but those are really. I like them. Not really big, like this sort of size, and then.
They kind of round.
Yeah, that's a new model of that
Okay.
one I have. I have the old metal model. So.
I might have to look at those.
And you can pick them up second hand, and they're not expensive. They used to be really expensive, and now they're. You know, because all the prices came down. You know, you can really have good speakers for not too much money.
And then I find myself thinking, why am I buying speakers? I'm sat here in my house with my laptop and my headphones.
I know.
And actually, I've just sent a record to Riva Star Snatch Records.
Yeah.
And I didn't even touch my studio. I went straight from there into my headphones and got it right. And he said, yes, fine. We'll do the mastering their end. But, you know, it didn't even go to my studio.
Really?
So I'm thinking, how much of it is in my head?
I know. I mean, I know the guys from Chocolate Puma, they mix with their in-ears, like the Apple thingies.
Yeah.
And that's how they do the mix. I'm like, what?
Because I guess most people listen to it that way.
If it works, it works. Who needs big speakers?